Στο μικρόφωνο του NG Radio λοιπόν είναι ο Τάσος Περόγλου,
η Βασιλεία Περόγλου,
η Άννα Μαρία Νικολαίδου,
η Χαρούλα Νικολαίδου
και η Φαία Στάινερ.
Και φυσικά να ευχαριστήσουμε πάρα πολύ την Στεριανή Παπαλάμπρου, η οποία είναι εδώ κοντά μας για να μας βοηθήσει στην συνέντευξη που ακολουθεί.
Ευχαριστώ και εγώ για την τιμή της πρόσκλησης.
Είμαστε σε απευθεία σύνδεση με τον Chris King, ο οποίος προτιμάει το Chris και όχι το Christopher, γιατί τον κάνει να αισθάνεται και νεότερος, όπως μας είπε. Είμαστε πάρα πολύ χαρούμενοι, όλη η ομάδα του NG Radio είναι εδώ για να ακούσουμε αυτά τα πολύ ενδιαφέροντα πράγματα που έχει να μας πει ο λάτρης της ελληνικής μουσικής, ένας Αμερικανός από τη Βιρτζίνια που μας έχει κάνει πάρα πολύ μεγάλη εντύπωση και φυσικά εμείς δεν θα μπορούσαμε παρά να συνδεθούμε μαζί του μέσω email αρχικά και βεβαίως τώρα μέσω Skype για να τον απολαύσετε και να τον ακούσετε όλοι σας, γιατί το έργο που κάνει είναι σπάνιο, πολύ, πολύ μοναδικό, μας τιμάει όλους τους Έλληνες και έχουμε λοιπόν μαζί μας τον Chris King και είμαστε πάρα πολύ χαρούμενοι. So, Chris, we are very, very happy to have you with us to NG Radio. It's an honor for all the things that you do for Greek music.
Thank you for having me, and it's the greatest honor for me.
All right, now we are all together. We gathered especially for this interview because we are all very excited. And we have some questions, and I believe that during the conversation we're going to have a lot of questions. First of all, I'm going to say about why the mountains are black. This double collection of Greek music that you did from 78 RPM vinyls, Greek music. And of course, at first we saw Jack White and Thurman Records, and we say okay, but then we saw you, Chris King. And we were very curious about you, and we started looking and searching for you, and we were very surprised by the fact that your love for Greek music and culture goes very deep. Tell us about it. How did your relationship with Greek music started?
It started about 7 years ago when I traveled to Constantinople with my family, and I had gone there. I'd never thought I would even see an old record, but after a few days, old habits kick in, and we decided to travel across the Bosphorus. And on the other side of the Bosphorus, I found a small stack of 78s, old records from the 1920s and 1930s, and they looked very curious. I took ancient Greek in college, okay. And I couldn't understand the labels, but they looked interesting and they were cheap. They were only about $1.50 a piece, so I bought everything. But of course I couldn't play them until I got home, so they sat in my hotel room for 2 weeks. I stared at them every day. And as soon as I got back to America, I washed them and came to my room and listened to them, and they profoundly changed me. They kind of hypnotized me, like a snake charmer, like an Indian snake charmer. And I fell under their spell. Sorry, 2 of them were from Ypres. They were by Kitsos Yadis, and that kind of made me go crazy. Like a rabbit hole. I fell down the rabbit hole. And ever since then, I've been collecting.
So it was, you said 7 years ago, 7 years.
Nah.
And from then you started reading about Greek culture and Greek civilization more, because you said you had courses on the university. It's only 7 years, yeah. Your relationship with Greek music. That's amazing. Because when someone hears your collection and reads what you write inside your notes, inside the vinyl and the CD, he can imagine that this is a person that has a lot of years that he's studying Greek culture and Greek music.
Well, I guess it's because, well, I've traveled to Greece many, many, many times, and I've become good friends with maybe 36 villagers who live in Ioannina but are from Epirus. And I guess ultimately I'm very obsessive. Once I was interested in something, then I have to immerse myself in it completely. I have to understand it from the beginning to the end. And so, yeah, maybe the notes sound very like I've been there for 20 or 30 years, but it's just my obsessive characteristics.
Chris, you were playing an instrument before you came in touch with Greek music.
Nah.
What
Guitar.
Guitar. Classic guitar or electric guitar?
Classic. I've never played an electric guitar.
Okay.
Okay.
And so,
But I played blues guitar and ragtime guitar ever since I was in high school, ever since I was 13 years old.
Okay, so you decided to learn a Greek instrument, and lauto. I think we've seen a photo on the internet. Yes, where you play lauto is very impressive. Wow.
Oh,
This is beautiful. Where did you buy it?
It comes from Epirus, from Zitza.
Zitza.
Not, yes.
Okay.
wow.
It's very beautiful.
And you play
It's also very
It's also very.
okay. It's very big.
It's very. And but before that, you have always been a sound engineer, right?
Yes, for 22 years.
For 22 years, and actually you're a Grammy awarded sound engineer and producer.
Yes.
And
I don't let it go to my.
You don't really?
I don't let it go to my head, though.
Okay. But I'm sure, okay, you're worth it. Of course, you're worth it. And
How did this love came up to you? It was a kind of need to rescue something. It was a kind of medicine, like a fact you say that this is something like healing need.
Yeah. Well, it's there are two answers because it's two questions. First, I became obsessed with old music that was made before your parents were born, maybe even your grandparents. When I was a very young child, when I was 12, before I became a little man, I helped clean out a building, an old shack on my grandparents' farm. And when I was cleaning out the shack, I found a stack of old records that belonged to sharecroppers. You know, like in Delta blues, people were sharecroppers. They worked the land. These were their records, but they had long died. And so I took them home and I listened to them, and I immediately became fixated on finding more and more of this old music. It had blues. It had Blind Willie Johnson. It had old country. It had old Cajun records. There were old Cajun records there. But also, my father was a collector. He collected everything. He collected old 78s. He was also a music teacher. He taught me piano when I was young. So I guess it's genetically inside of me, this need to constantly listen to music. But the other answer about preservation and about spirituality, I think it's important that most Greeks know one thing, that in the Western world, traditional music doesn't exist anymore. There are no blues musicians nowadays. There are no real good country musicians. All the beautiful music of the world has disappeared, except for one place, Greece, particularly Epirus.
Yes.
And so And so I feel it's very important to preserve the music so that the younger generation of Greek musicians, they can listen to how music sounded 80 years ago, and they can maybe work to preserve the music, to make it whole, to keep it alive, because that's not possible in the rest of the Western world. Does that answer the question?
Of course.
Yes. So you feel, and I understand that you also believe that the whole world should come in touch with the Greek folk music. Have you?
Yes.
Why is that? I mean, for what reason? What was your?
Well,
yes.
Well, I would say it's because Greek music, particularly the music of Epirus, it contains a mysterious device. It acts to heal the listener. It's a panacea, a curative. It's medicine. Yeah. It's medicine for a wounded soul. And I don't think of Greek music as being just for Greeks. I think that anyone who has a wounded soul should listen to the music and should experience the music so that they too can become healed.
And what you say reminds me of what I've read on the notes of Why the Mountains Are Black, where you say that Epirotic music is more close music to the ancient Greek music, and it keeps the secrets of the ancient Greek civilization, which is something that everyone must know and learn. This is fantastic too. You know, it's very surprising for us because you are American, and the way you receive the Greek culture and the Greek religion and the Greek costumes, for you are like you were born in Greece and you're a Greek guy.
I'm very jealous of Greeks for everything they have. For when I hear of somebody that was born in Epirus, I keep on wishing I could have been born in Epirus.
But you receive the Greek stuff more deeply than a Greek guy. For a Greek man, not all of them, but
possibly.
Yes, it's true. Yeah. And you've said that people from Epirus that get to know you, they say that there is no way that you are American. You must be a Greek guy that someone kidnapped you and took you to America.
Yeah. Well, I meet with people from the Vlachi villages. And after eating with them and drinking, they'll, at the end of the conversation, they'll say, "Are you sure you're not Vlachi?" and then I'll play with musicians in Parakalamos, Roma, and at the end of the evening, they'll say, "Are you sure you're not Roma?" And the same thing happens with the Sarakatsani. I had a very long dinner with Sarakatsani, and at the end, they thought that I must have been kidnapped when I was a child from their village and brought to America. So it's very nice for everybody to say that. It is nice. I wish it were true.
Have you ever focused on the element that you believe that is the most essential at music of Epirus? Which is the most basic for you element in this music, this kind of music? Which is the one that attracts you more?
It's two different types. There's many types of music from Epirus. There's 6, but I could easily say there's a big distinction between music from Pagoni. Pagoni music is more. It's like it soaks up more pain. It's more sad, and the words are deeper. And so sometimes I like that suffering in the music, the pain. It's cathartic. It makes me cry, and very very little music makes me cry. But when I hear the Miraloi, a very good Miraloi, it's like my soul has been released from my body. And then on the other side, there's the Zagorian style, which is more Byzantine. And when I listen to it, it makes me remember Aristotle, where he talks about putting your soul back together again, arranging your soul properly. And I think it has something to do with the scales, the dromoi.
Dromos. Yes.
Dromos.
Do you happen to know Skaros? Sorry?
Yeah, Skaros, my favorite.
It's my favorite
Skaros
too.
is one of my favorite.
I think it's a very healing kind of erotic music.
Well, the miraloi is essentially a way of healing a person of pain, either from somebody dying or somebody leaving to work someplace else. Xenitia.
Yes.
And also just it's a loss, the feeling of loss. The Skaros is a little different, but of course I don't know Western Macedonia Skaros. But the Skaros was originally played by shepherds on flutes, aeolos, and they would use it to hypnotize the animals, to make the animals shelter at night, to come or to take water, or to move this way or to move that way. And it's one of my favorite tunes. I have a little dog. My dog is named Betty.
Okay.
And she comes in my room and I play the Skaros for her on my violin. And she'll move to the left, she'll move to the right, she'll lay down, she'll fall asleep, she'll wake up and she'll kiss me and then she'll leave. She loves the Skaros.
Oh, that's amazing. So you play the violin also?
Nah.
Lauto, violin, what else? A clarino?
Guitar.
Kita.
From Greek music.
I wish I can't play the clarino. I can't play the clarino. I make it squeak and squawk. I can't do it.
Have you ever listening other kinds of Greek folk music, like Greek folk music from Rhodos or from Thrace or from Crete?
Well, I do, and I do own a gaeda bagpipe.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on my wall over there. And so I try to play some of the music from Thrace and Macedonia.
Yeah.
But there's so much Greek music. There's so much incredible folk Greek music. I could spend 3 lifetimes and I would never be able to play it all.
So do you believe that you could live permanently in Greece and specifically in Epirus?
Of course. I can't wait.
So you have it in mind someday that you will definitely live there, Epirus?
Maybe this year, maybe next year, I will buy a home in Vitsa.
Oh, very nice.
The problem is, of course, money. You have to pay for the house, and then I can't actually move to Greece full time for 8 more years because of my contracts. I work for the Library of Congress, and I work for a lot of other organizations, so I have contracts, but I make money. So
okay. Chris, we have to say to the audience that your website is www.longgonesound.com, and it's very important for all the Greek people, and not only the Greek that listen to NG Radio, to visit your website and see all the records that you have produced or released from Long Gone Sound. I love the name of your company, Long Gone Sound, because they're going to find their treasures from Balkan music, rockabilly from Virginia, blues, country music, a lot of stuff, a lot of very good music that you have produced, right? You have made the sound engineering and all of that. I am correct?
Yes. I've produced 133 projects.
Oh my God.
Wow. And we have to say congratulations for the amazing recording of Yannis Haldoupis and the Mouklomos. Tell us about it.
Well, I've actually recorded 3 groups from Eporos, Yanis Aldoupas, and then also a group called Takimi, which has Tomas Halianis and a really excellent fiddler, Kostas Karapanos, plays violin in that group. And then I recorded a group last year from Arta. I guess I wanted to show to the world that Greek music from the old 78s, from the 1920s and 1930s, and then the music now in the 21st century, it's unchanged. It's the same. It's like a thread, and it's not broken at all. Whereas anywhere else in the world you go to, the thread is broken. It's withered. And so I just wanted to show to people all over the world that if you came to Eporos, you would be able to listen to music that's hundreds, if not thousands of years old with very little change.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Tell us, you're going to release these 4 collections by Thurman Records again? By Jack White's record label? Yes. Okay, here we have to say that we owe to Jack White a huge thanks for releasing your work, because he gave the opportunity for more people to learn about you and your great work, Greek people and not only Greek people. And now I want to ask you the reaction of American people that hear Greek music. I've read about it sounds like psychedelic rock group. It sounds like doom folk and things like that. Yes. What's the reaction of the people? Yes.
Yeah. I had a release party in Nashville at Third Man Records.
Okay.
And one of the things, I think I mentioned this to you, one thing I like to do is to watch people listen to music and see how it changes them, how it affects them, how it makes them move.
Yes.
How it makes their eyes move, if their body moves a certain way. And so I would play a piece from the Peloponnese, and I would suddenly see people who had never heard anything like this become hypnotized. It was irresistible to their body. It was as if their body had no resistance to the music. And then I've played Miraloi for people. And it would be a group of about 150 people in a room, and everybody was talking and drinking, having a good time. But the second I dropped the needle onto the record, it was dead silent, and people would just become focused, very focused on the music. You don't see that, people stopping everything and they're trying to understand this music. So it's interesting to see how most Americans react to this music, and not Greek Americans, just your average American.
Yes. That's very nice. I wish I could be there and see that, really. And
and it's because Greek music, at least a lot of early Greek folk music, it had a purpose. It had a function. It did things to people. And so certain music sounds very haunting, like it's trying to get inside your ear and into your brain and make things untie themselves. And then there's other music which is very sensual, and you can see how people, when they hear this sensual music, it makes them let their guard down. It's very unusual. I like to watch people.
Chris, I have to admit that it made a great impression to me that it's not only that you admire the Greek music, not only Greek music of course, but you have a sincere respect on the impact that this music has to you. You could just listen to it and say, yes, it's wonderful, and not to open yourself to this experience. And it's amazing, not only the way that you respect and you let yourself live it, but you also want to transmit it to the world. You want everybody to know about it. It's not that you just study something like
academic.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, but that would be boring if I did it that way.
I just felt the need
Yeah.
to say it, and we're truly very honored. And
Yes.
you also respect the fact that you know that each people, even if it's Greek or Turkish or anything, you know how they feel about their music. You know already the impact that their music has on them. And you make them feel like you totally share it with them. I know it's like you say to us, I know how you feel. It's that you.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
yeah, I agree. I mean, somebody said recently that I was an evangelist, like Saint John,
Yes.
And maybe that's the way it is. I mean, if I could introduce music so that it affects one person, just one person, as deeply as it's affected me, then I feel like my job has maybe been done. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop, but at least I feel like I've done something.
Amazing.
It seems that you are a good dancer too. I saw an image of you dancing with the clarinets in your ear, almost in your ear.
Yeah, I love being played into. I'm not a good dancer, but I like the feeling of having the clarino right here.
Too many Greek people also like you. We say that this man is Meraklis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meraklis, yes.
Which your favorite Greek food?
Oh, all. Kokoritsi, kotopula mibames.
Oh,
Wow.
Bamias.
I love bamias.
I don't.
I hate babines.
It's like Greeks are equally divided on bames.
Yeah.
Most hate
Exactly.
Yeah.
or love.
Two kind of Greeks.
Two kind of Greeks. Yeah.
The Bamias lovers and the Bamias haters.
And
And,
yes,
and of course, I love Tsipro. So
Yes.
I
yes.
Straight
Okay.
Tsipuro.
Straight chipuro, yes.
Yes.
We can almost smell it from
We
here.
can almost smell it,
Yeah.
yes.
Chris, I want to
Stimi
something.
Yamas.
I want to ask you something too. Who are your favorite Greek musicians?
You mean alive or dead?
Whatever you
Both.
like.
Both.
I mean, my favorite living musicians would be Tomas Halianis, Gregoras Kapsalis, Kostas Karapanos, Yanis Aldoupas, those guys. But generally, I like dead people more than I like alive people.
Because
Very
they're
strange.
Yes, because they're more close to the tradition and to the pure epirotic stuff. That's why I think.
Yes, yes, and also dead people appreciate everything you do for them, whereas living people sometimes not so much. Sometimes, with American blues artists or American artists, you do things for them, and then their response is, "What can you do for me next?"
Wow. Okay.
It's not a sincere form of gratitude.
So we have to say special thanks to Susan Archie for this amazing cover.
Yeah.
Not only in Why the Mountains Are Black, but to the other albums too. She's very
The
good.
painting was done by my friend Robert Crumb.
Oh, at the cover? And Susan Archie?
Susan Archie designs everything else.
Okay, okay.
Robert Crumb, he loves music from Icaros too.
Okay.
And I trade him old records to do the art for me.
We can tell that he likes epirotic music by the
way
result.
he paints.
Yes, the way he paints.
Yes. Yes.
So, Chris, we thank you so much for this lovely conversation. It was a great honor for us, and we hope that you continue doing what you do for Greek culture and Greek music. Thank you.
We are
again,
awaiting you to come to Greece and here to our radio station to meet you in person.
And of course, we wait you here in Greece to go to a panegyri, to eat kokoreti, to dance, to eat halvas farsaron here with Tassos.
And bamias, of course.
And bamias
My
and
favorite.
whatever you like. We love you very much, and we are very touched for this interview today.
We love you, Chris. Thanks again very, very, very much. It was a great honor.
Φιλάκια.
Bye bye.
Πολλά φιλιά.
Μεγάλη μας τιμή πραγματικά.
Μεγάλη μας τιμή, αλήθεια,
έτσι,
αλήθεια.
Που είχαμε αυτή τη συνομιλία με έναν τέτοιο μουσικό άνθρωπο, έναν Έλληνα στην ψυχή και το μυαλό.
Συγκινηθήκαμε πάρα πολύ, δηλαδή τέτοιο έργο ούτε Έλληνες δεν έχουμε κάνει.
Ξέρεις, μπορεί στην προηγούμενη ζωή του να ήταν Έλληνας.
Καλά.
Κι εγώ
Να
στο
ήταν
σκέφτηκα
Κύπρος.
το
Εγώ το έχω
πίσω.
σκεφτεί αυτό. Το έχω σκεφτεί έτσι. Αλήθεια. Πραγματικά όμως ήταν μεγάλη μας τιμή που μιλήσαμε με έναν τέτοιον άνθρωπο.
Έτσι.
Έτσι. Και φυσικά ευχαριστούμε και όλους εσάς που μας παρακολουθήσατε για άλλη μια φορά εδώ στο Έκτακτο Μουσικό Express.
Σας προτρέπουμε να επισκεφτείτε τη σελίδα του longgonesound.com, www βεβαίως στη σειρά στην αρχή, να διαβάσετε να δείτε τι έχει κάνει, τι έχει κυκλοφορήσει. Αξίζει, παιδιά, αξίζει και με το παραπάνω.
Φυσικά περιμένουμε τα μηνύματά σας και ό,τι άλλο θέλετε στα κοινωνικά δίκτυα του ngradio.gr.
Φιλάκια.
καλά.
Πολλά σε όλους.
Καλή συνέχεια.
I want to congratulate New Generation Radio for winning the very prestigious award for Best Radio Website for 2015 from the Web Marketing Association. That is a great honor. I also want to thank New Generation Radio, especially Harula, Anna Maria, Tassos, Vasilia, Fea, Steriani, for inviting me to talk about my love for old demotic music, especially the music from Ypres and Zagori. I am deeply honored to be able to give back to Greece some of its most important, most beautiful, and most valuable cultural gifts, its music. And to all my friends in Athens, Thessaloniki, Arta, Yanina, and Parakalamos, here is my love and my wishes to see you soon this August. Efaristo.